Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the First Alert Weather Podcast, the Fox 12 Weather Podcast, episode number 130. Crap, I don't know what number it is. And I just said 137. Here we go. It's going to be good this time. 3, 2, 1.
Weatherman, we can't allow any further delay.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Mark Nelson, Chief Meteorologist here at Fox 12, and you have entered the podcast zone with the First Alert Weather Podcast. This is episode 137. We've got an action-packed, about 40 minutes of weather for you. And, of course, we have Camila Ortiz. How you doing, Camila?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, you're timing it out already. You're saying we got 40 minutes on
Maybe.
the dot.
We'll see. It's funny how no matter what we have each week, most weeks it runs like 30, 38. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, it's because, we're good at talking or something like that.
I guess. Something like that. We don't have Peyton with us this evening. She's busy at home, I think. And, again, I like to announce every time Katie's asleep because she works the morning show. And we're recording this just in case you're on getting this a little bit later. We're recording this about 7 p.m. on Thursday, the 15th. So we are at the halfway point through the month. That's the big news there. Let's jump right into it. What are we going to cover here? Camila, can you see the graphics? You should be able to see them, right?
I do. Jam-packed.
So everything has returned to normal. In fact, that is normal. This is what it looked like late this afternoon. Okay. So everything has returned to normal, which is sometimes gray in May. We've got clouds and cool weather. Rain so far, is it helping? Have we had enough to really help out your garden? Yes and no. Depends on location. You like the tease?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Term of the week, very applicable.
Yes, that's a good
one. We're going
to
look ahead. Hard to believe. This is when I've always noticed, Camila, in my career, we're kind of plodding through spring, things. It's April, sometimes late March, April, May. And then suddenly you go, wait a minute, it's only a week and 1 day until everybody's leaving town for Memorial Day weekend, which is kind of the traditional start of summer. And in the last 10, 15 years, it's also been the beginning of Rose Festival, which is kind of our early summer event here in Portland.
That's right.
So 1 week from tomorrow, I'll be down dancing. Well, I won't be dancing, but there'll be clowns dancing around me, I think.
The clowns. It's honestly what we look forward to the most.
Down
well,
at
and
the,
I was I was going to give you crap because I was confused that it said.
Can you say crap on a podcast? Oh, yeah, I think you can.
Crap is fine, right?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Peak at holiday weekend. I was like, it's not a holiday weekend this weekend, but you're talking about extended
next weekend
forecast.
Because everybody knows, we don't just go 7 days out on this podcast. We take a look at the big picture, what we see might be coming up.
Yeah.
And in the end, we may just say we don't know, but a lot of times we can say, hey, we have a general feeling of what's coming up here. So, Memorial Day weekend is kind of right around the corner. And then, of course, we got some viewer photos as well. So, as I mentioned, normalcy has returned. I'm being kind of pessimistic here, but
Trippy, gray.
A lot of gray today. Today was funny because I'm driving into work. We clearly said it'll be dry in the morning. Got my last bike ride in before we reached the beach.
Nice.
I didn't tell you, Camila, I did 10 miles. That included up through a logging road, but I didn't use the road bike.
Oh. You were just on your mountain bike?
I can't get into it. I've ridden my
I would hope you're on a mountain bike on a logging road. That would be bad on a road bike.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, the folks loaned me a nice road bike, and I've only ridden it once, about a month ago.
You're such an off-road guy,
Country bumpkin.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, the mountain bike is, and I was doing a very steep hill up in the logging area, and so my legs are in good shape. So the other bike will feel very light when I hop on Saturday.
You'll be flying on that thing.
Great cause, American Lung Association, Reach the Beach. That's coming up on Saturday. But anyway, why did I bring that up? Oh, we advertised that, hey, it'd be dry in the morning. So get whatever done. Sure enough, it was dry. It was fine. Chilly, but fine. And then it started raining as I'm heading to work. I'm like, the wipers kind of intermittent, then they're off. Then intermittent, then they're off.
Yes.
The road never turned wet.
Yeah.
And I don't think the roads in our area really turned wet until about 5 p.m. It was like the lightest of light rain, but it wasn't drizzle. It was just little bits of rain.
Yeah, super light.
So, of course, with the precipitation coming in during the peak heating of the day, I mean, we're in, Camila, we're kind of in solar summer now, which is the highest, the strongest sunshine, the 3-month period. It would go, a month and a half on each side of June 21st. So, yeah, we're in solar summer. Sun is as strong now as it is in late July.
Which is pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah. So with that cloud cover and then the rain coming in during the peak heating of the day, we only hit 58 in Portland, and we have to go all the way back to, we have to go all the way back to, in fact, beyond this chart to find a 58-degree day.
I see a 60 in like mid-April.
Yeah, that was mid-April. I think it was the 12th of April is the last time we had a high temperature of 58 or cooler.
Wow.
Now let me point out, yeah, you can see the change these last 5 days. Suddenly, all those days in the 70s, we even had a few 80s sprinkled in there. Kind of, I can barely see. It's kind of off the chart there. The 85 around May, was that May 6th, May 5th?
Something like that.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were on your
Or is that an 83?
cruise.
Wait, did we hit 85?
It was 85 that day. I can tell you that with certainty.
I've kind of forgotten. Anyway, so the last 5 days we haven't made it above 65 degrees. So this is the kind of weather, these last 5 days, that's what we should have had through a good chunk of April, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Also, breaking news. I didn't even mention this to you, Camilla. The over the last year or so, the National Weather Service is in this program of replacing all the temperature sensors at all the ASOS units, which is Automated Surface Observing System. Those units have been in place since I think the early 1990s when I first started my career. And so remember we talked about how Salem was obscenely warm in January and February, and then suddenly they replaced a sensor and it was reasonable again.
Yeah.
And the Portland sensor we noticed was running really high, like some of those 80s, like the 84, it was probably really more like an 81, 82.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they replaced the sensor, I forget which day it was. It was kind of a cloudyish day, so you couldn't really tell here. But
I think it had to have been in the last week and a half though, right? I think
it was after
one of
that
those
80 something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was after that 85, because I remember looking across the map and noticing that Portland all of a sudden was very similar to Salem.
Yeah, look here.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, today isn't the best example because it wasn't sunny. Portland on sunny days was crazy warm.
Right.
Not as crazy as Salem was. Salem was way out of whack.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Weather Service announced, I think it was about 4 days ago, maybe a week ago, said all have been replaced within the Portland Weather Service forecast. Portland Weather Service office forecast area, they've all been replaced, all the official sensors. So
that's amazing.
There shouldn't be any outliers. So just higher quality instruments. What we'll probably see is as we get into summer and the really hot days may not be quite as hot. What used to be a 92 may just be a 90 now.
Yeah.
So that's good. There you go. So that was my breaking news there. Rain so far today, big numbers.
Oh boy.
I was going to say this is the latest, but this is at 6 p.m. 7 p.m. we probably added a few more hundreds because it looked a little more substantial for a few hours there.
Yeah.
But is it helping? What do you think, Camilla? You're a big gardener. What do you think?
That's a good joke.
I'm a big alive most of the time.
Indoor gardener. No, those bushes that I planted that I was very proud of. I said the name to you one time and you were impressed, and now I already forgot what they were. But they are still alive.
Oh, that's good.
Something burb? No, not. I can't remember now. But they're still alive, so I'm crushing it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
My light just went off. Did you see that? We have not automated the light in there.
Yeah.
Fine. You're not looking at me. You're looking at the graphics anyway.
All right.
So is it helping? Well, here's the deal. Officially in Portland as of this evening, this is as of, actually, this is before we had the 200s. So this would be as of Thursday afternoon. 32 hundredths of an inch in May. And April, the last 3 weeks of April, we had maybe a quarter inch as well. So, yeah, it's still very dry.
Yeah.
At the airport, okay? Oh, I got more numbers. You hold on. And you can see we've actually had a lot of dry Mays lately. We've only had one really wet one in 2022.
Yeah, more than 3.5 inches in that year. But you're right. Lots of dry Mays.
But this isn't what we call a TV-friendly graphic.
I wonder why.
Oh, if those consultants showed up and saw us using this graphic. For good reason, they would beat us down.
Yeah.
This shows May rain so far. This is a combination of official stations. And then also, PDX is pretty close, 0.35. Sometimes it'll be a few hundredths off, I've noticed, just the way it calculates. And then this shows also maybe home weather stations could be what's called RAWs. Those are used for like fire weather in the mountains, or it could be snowtail sites like on the south side and north side of Mount Hood there. But it's kind of a mess. You see a huge range in there. You see some 1/4 inches, a 1/3 inch, a few spots above 1 inch. I crossed out the place and it looks like Redland. No, Barton. Somebody thinks they had 5 inches of rain. I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
But if I just look at only the places that have had 0.7 inches or more, and sometimes there are errors in here, like there's Barton again, not to really
The 10.97.
Take a dump on Barton here, but it's like, I don't know why it says that. But you notice there are a bunch that where you see like 3/4 of an inch or over an inch. In fact, there are 3, which tells you something was going on here. Look at Lake Oswego, kind of outer southeast Portland, Gladstone, I guess, kind of Clackamas, that 1.00 inch. Oh, wait, I've got a cursor. This one may be real. I'm not sure about that. This is not real.
Yeah.
Karis. And then here's Tualatin. This probably is real. So what was going on here? So this is all of May. Well, this is back Sunday. If I take 24 hours, Sunday evening through Monday evening, a lot of this fell Monday morning. These big totals here. It's what we call a deformation zone. Basically, some showers just sat over that area, this area here. I was out of touch while I was on vacation. Came back Monday morning. I'm like, okay, I got to get oriented like weather-wise. You kind of have to get your head into the game again. And I'm like, there's showers just sitting over this whole area. So that sometimes happens. Well, I went to the maps, and this is what I found. Here was Monday morning. This shows the flow at 500 millibars, so about 18,000 feet. The flow goes about like this, and there's what we call an upper level low sitting right here. So as those go by, sometimes those can go by, and if they're moving slowly, the flow comes around the back side and can run into the northwesterlies that are coming in behind. Weird things can happen.
Yeah.
And that's why showers were just sitting there for a brief period Monday morning. So they got dumped on. So, so in those at PDX or my house where I've only had maybe half an inch or so, I need more of a soaking. It's very dry if you go more than an inch down in the soil.
Yeah.
But in these places, West Lynn and Tualatin, Milwaukee, you're in pretty good shape. Your plants all got a good soaking. Speaking of, here's your big segue. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Well, what do we call this?
An upper level low.
Yeah, there you go. That's our term of the week, folks.
It's our term of the week. Yeah, exciting stuff. You probably hear us say it on TV every once in a while.
Upper level low, weatherman's woe. I think Katie says that.
No, it's cutoff low, weatherman's woe.
Well, are they different?
Or maybe they're interchangeable. Cutoff low makes more sense because it's like, whoa, where's this wacky thing going?
Speaking
it could
of,
go anywhere.
I haven't seen this yet. Camila, you take over. What does this say?
So we pull definitions from the AMS Glossary of Meteorology, and I typed in upper level low, and it redirected me to upper level cyclone.
Redirect, that's fine. A good redirect, I think.
Yeah,
could be worse.
Makes sense. It has, underneath it, also called upper level low, et cetera, et cetera. And the definition is as follows: a cyclonic circulation existing in the upper air, specifically as seen on an upper level constant pressure chart. Does that tell you anything about what an upper level flow is?
To a normal person, no. Although constant pressure chart, those are the 500 millibar charts and the 300 millibars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's basically saying an upper level low is a low that is in the upper level. That's basically what it's telling you. A circulation
cyclonic, which would be counterclock. Well, it'd be counterclockwise, like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, which is fine. It is a definition, but I wasn't satisfied with it, I figured I would make exactly the next. You can hit the next.
Well, wait,
slide.
I didn't finish reading. What does the last sentence say? A term is often what?
Restricted to such cyclones associated with relatively.
They're saying it may have nothing to do with the lower atmosphere, which we have seen here before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
Look at the other. Anyway, I'm going to start calling it this on TV. I think upper level low isn't confusing enough. I'm going to start calling it the high level cyclone.
I think that would maybe get more people's attention.
I think Wayne Garcia, who used to anchor with us, he's now retired. He's doing great. He's been retired 2 years, but he once said, "Are you going to pull off one of those high level low things again and ruin my weekend?" So funny.
I love Wayne.
I miss Wayner.
I know. He was a good one.
Speaking of friendly graphics for TV.
Yeah. So anyway, then I made this monstrosity because I figured it's good to compare. You hear upper level low. Well, is there a lower level low? Yes, there is. That's a surface low. So what's the difference? So it's kind of fun to compare and talk through this. So basically,
please do.
As you can imagine, an upper level low is in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So typically 10,000, 15,000 feet plus above us. It tends to be stronger there in the mid and upper levels and then weaker near the Earth's surface, whereas a surface low is near the Earth's surface, so it tends to be a little bit stronger there. And how they form is a little bit different. So upper level low, dip in the jet stream kind of forms that cold pocket of air aloft, whereas surface lows just form mostly with pressure differences. Do you agree with that, Mark? So far?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
surface lows could form for a couple reasons, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
And then surface lows, typically have warm fronts, cold fronts attached to them. They might be a little bit easier in terms of, predicting where they're going to go. Whereas upper level lows, it kind of depends on the
there
situation.
You go. There's your key. If they detach from the jet stream.
Right. Which that can happen. And then that's what we call a cutoff low. And that's where I think the cutoff low, weatherman's woe thing
I think you're right.
From.
You know what? You're right. I was mixing two terms. I mean, an upper level low will become a cutoff low sometimes. An upper level low doesn't have to become a cutoff low, though.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. And then it's just kind of floating in no man's land. And it's hard to know where those will go. But
if it cuts off, especially.
Yeah. But if they linger long enough or move slowly enough, they can still produce, decent weather impacts like flooding, rain. But we typically get the more violent, windier stuff with the surface lows. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. And many times for us in the warm season, we're in the warm season. I know it doesn't feel like it when you step outside necessarily, but we're in the warm season. If we could easily have an upper level low overhead, spinning showers and thunder showers, but all we have is low level onshore flow that's totally disconnected from that upper level low. Yeah. That's pretty common in the warm season. So our windy conditions typically, upper level lows, if they're moving through, you often get gusty wind of some sort. No biggie, but kind of the fresh spring, fall type wind. Yeah. But the big deep surface low pressure centers are going to cause the big wind. For example, you can't quite see it here, folks, but I was giving Camila crap because on this graphic that she made just for the podcast, this is a bit too much text for TV.
Right.
The first thing that appears is behind, there's this massive, beautiful eye wall of a massive closed hurricane, low pressure center behind it.
It's a big, scary
Good
hurricane.
Lord.
I know.
Look at that.
Monster.
Scary.
A hurricane is a low pressure system.
And surface.
Low pressure system. Yeah.
In fact, it's interesting. Hurricanes usually have an anticyclone, an upper level high. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Okay, so speaking of, let's see. So you did this jet stream. So this is a jet stream fork. This is this. Here's the deal. I think we've said this on the podcast before. We call this jet stream, but it's not really jet stream level.
Oh, it's really 500 millibars.
Yeah, it's really 500 millibars. 18,000 feet. Don't tell people. Yeah, but it looks pretty.
It does. It still tells.
It tells
story.
The story.
Yes. Yeah. So we pulled this because we do have an upper level low.
Are these in order? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically just showing how over the weekend we have this trough, this dip in the jet stream that comes through Saturday, Sunday, which is why we're thinking frequent showers. But then if you kind of look north of Portland, kind of right on the border there with BC, you can start to see that low pressure system dropping down.
There it is. You can see me circling it. Here we go.
That's right.
Oh, Sunday, 1 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern
moves a
Washington.
little closer. Yep, exactly. Just to our northeast.
And then it does get cut off, doesn't it? By Monday morning.
That's what it looks like.
The main flow is kind of up here. I mean, there's still a flow going like this, but the main flow is wanting to be up here.
Right.
Yep. And by the way, two things. I'll probably have like 4 things to mention, but let's see what happens. One is this is great for Great Plains spring thunderstorms. This flow coming up from the southwest and maybe some divergence. Look at that.
Yep.
I'm guessing pretty. This is Sunday. Would you want to be in Nebraska or South Dakota Sunday? Well, I mean, normal people wouldn't. We probably would, but
right. I
and then
miss
Monday,
those Midwest thunderstorms.
I mean, there must be big divergence here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or here. Yeah, they're going to have issues.
Yeah.
So, one thing that's changed, on this just starts on Sunday, but at one point it was looking like this upper level low might come directly over the top of Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington later Saturday or Sunday. But since the first upper level trough is swung through by Sunday morning, probably no thunderstorm Saturday. I mean, there's a chance for a rumble of thunder. But then if this upper level low is to our east, we're kind of in a northwesterly upper level flow on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could get a thunder shower out of that, but the model stuff I've looked at, the lifted index in the Cape is not so great either day.
Yeah.
But if I were over in eastern Washington, northeast Oregon, this could be a cool thunder shower pattern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So widespread weekend showers is the big message. So let's keep going. Then we have so we have Monday at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Flow is kind of getting cut off. Oh, that was it. Never mind. We're not going to keep going for now.
I only included those 3 because really beyond Monday morning, it looks like the low kind of falls apart a little bit, or
Right.
it moves far enough east that I'm not going to say we don't care anymore, but it doesn't impact our region anymore.
But you're thinking, good God, I've waited a week for the next podcast. That's it for 500 millibar maps. Don't you worry, folks. We got more 500 millibar. We got 500 millibar anomalies. We've got 500 millibar, I think, vorticity, temperature, and we also we got a lot more coming.
Oh boy, Mark always delivers.
Yeah, 7:29. Got to keep going. That's our time. Okay, so watering forecast. As the upper level low goes by, I'm thinking maybe a half inch of rain at best here in the valleys.
Okay. Yeah.
Since we don't have good convection, and since if that upper level low is going to track right over us, I think, ooh, could somebody get what we call that deformation band on the north side of the low as it goes by?
Yeah.
But if it's going by to the east, we just kind of have this constant flow of showers coming in from the northwest.
Right.
So we're a little more rain shadowed by the coast range in that case. So places like where I live up against the Cascades, I could get an inch of rain easy out of this. But if you live in one of the drier parts of the region, like Camila, you live kind of, well, we don't want to give your address.
No. Beaverton.
Kind of a low Beaverton area, maybe only 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So that was one of our pretty new graphics. Okay, so let's go farther. Oh, no, that's right. Farther, we go further in time. Farther is distance. You know, I didn't learn that till like 15 years into my career.
It's tricky. Sometimes I still have, full confession, sometimes I still look it up because I'm like, which one is it?
Further is time. But what I remember is, and correct me if I'm wrong, in weather, we're almost always using farther because we're talking about a distance, almost always in weather, except I just talked about time and we're peaking further ahead into the holiday weekend. Oh, there's either mice in the weather center right now, or you're busy looking something up.
I just had to check. I had to check the facts, and you are correct. Farther is used for distance.
Right. All right. So, more 500 millibars. So let's look ahead because again, we've only got a little over a week until Memorial Day weekend. People are making their big plans, pulling out the big fifth wheel. We haven't camped yet. But we did take a cruise, so
it's not exactly camping season yet, right?
Well,
every time I want to use that camping graphics in the Cascades, Mark's like, "No, not yet, not yet."
Yeah, starting Memorial Day weekend. Although that said, we've had some really warm Memorial Day weekends, but a lot of times, like what we have right now, you know, Timberline could get 3-4 inches of snow on Saturday night, Sunday morning with those cold showers. It's pretty chilly.
Oh, really?
Snow level comes down to about 4,000 feet on Sunday morning.
Oh, okay, yeah, decent.
So, yeah, that's not fun camping weather in the Cascades.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a 500 millibar chart. This is what you'd seen for Monday morning, just a different version of it. There's an upper level low over the Great Basin, and heights are rising over us. I kind of use this. This is a very general thought, is when we're in late spring and early summer, if it's above about 564 heights here, I figure, the weather's getting pretty decent. Okay. When it goes below 564, I mean, that's very general.
Wow, I need to write down that trick, though. That's a neat little hack.
Yeah. Very general, because, you know, what if there's a wave and the heights are 567, you're going to get showers. Right. So that's Monday morning. So then here is Wednesday morning. Now, this is when I was making my forecast. I, of course, looked at the Euro, and I looked at the GFS, I forget. But I know I looked at the Euro model, and this was Wednesday for midday, 18Z Wednesday, so that's about lunchtime on Wednesday. Look at the heights, 573 maybe over northern Oregon, southern Washington.
Pleasant. Yep.
Pleasant, probably okay, probably dry.
Some clouds, westerly flow.
Yeah. And so then, do you see how quick that was? So then I made my forecast.
Were you trying to hide something there on purpose?
Right, we're going to go back. Don't worry, we're going back to it.
Okay.
This is all a big choreographed thing here. So I made my forecast for the scattered shower Saturday and Sunday. Monday, maybe as a little wiggle in the jets, a little wiggle in that westerly flow goes by, maybe an evening showers Monday and into Tuesday morning. I put Wednesday as dry and maybe a few showers Thursday.
Okay.
Something new to point out. Well, actually, but then, so that's the model I use. So this is a 12Z run. Yeah, it's kind of flattish, probably okay on Wednesday. The 18Z comes in and look, it's got a quick moving little upper level shortwave moving by. What? And I won't show it to you because I had so many graphics in this. But sure enough, the Euro, the 18Z run has a little cluster of showers moving through on Wednesday. Wednesday's a cool, showery day, whereas I have dry. The point is, when we're kind of close to this week, mid to late May jet stream, we can easily get a little impulse that gives us light showers, and it's a real pain to forecast this stuff. I mean, the evening shower, what if the timing moves up 6 hours and suddenly we've got showers midday Monday?
Right.
I hate this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
no one's going to die from any of this. This isn't critical life-saving information
Yeah.
in this weather pattern, but it annoys people because, like Nick Krupke, our sports guy, he's like, hey, do you think there'll be 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday? Will there be showers? And I'm like, well, probably, but it's going to come and go.
But we don't know. I know. It does make people mad because they open up that app and they would love to see the same weather forecast as it was yesterday, and that's rarely the case.
And I would much prefer if we were going into a warm and dry pattern or leaving a warm and dry, then it's like, okay, the first 4 days are showery and then it's warm and sunny. It's so much simpler that way. So this stuff is kind of a pain to forecast.
Yeah.
We did make not a vast improvement, but we made a little bit of an improvement. How many hours did I spend on those damn icons last night, Camila?
I know, the weather icon saga. It was a long time, and I felt bad because Mark kept like pulling me back to his computer and asking like, okay, what do you think of this one? And I'd be like, what if we did this? I made you like tweak it 3 different times.
No, it's good because I feel better. I always like kind of the bottom of the clouds lineup. I didn't like how the graphics package we got that we think looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, totally.
But it had this on the 7-day, it had the suns up and down. It's like I like everything in a horizontal
straighter line,
cleaner this way. And so then everything goes. And it also, we weren't able to put showers on the left side of the icon, which I see on my 7-day forecast time goes from left to right. So if there's a morning shower Saturday, for example, I want all the showers
on the
over
left
here.
side. Yeah.
Or I might say AM. I don't have the graphic here, but we have one that says AM. Anyway, so always refining and
work in progress.
Improving.
Yeah. Ooh,
Okay, so
more
let's
500 millibar stuff.
Yeah, let's go. Wow, so we have 3 episodes of 500 millibars here. Isn't this great?
Wow.
It's like when you binge like some show. We're doing Handmaid's Tale right now, and a little dark. But
you think?
Yeah. But it's like when you binge and we get like 3 episodes at once here.
Yeah.
All right. So we saw the flattish westerly flow next week. So it's a little warmer and dry. Notice the temperatures are a little closer to average here. Average high 69 or 70 during this period as we approach the end of May. And some chances for showers, maybe that little wave on Wednesday. All right, so then we get to Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, and here's a GEFS, which means a GFS ensemble average.
Yep.
And I've changed to a 500 millibar anomaly map, which means the cool areas have below average heights, the warm areas have above average. And you kind of see heights go above average across most of the West, but there's also troughing offshore below average heights. So we're kind of between this ridging and troughing offshore. A lot of uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
A little eastward movement, westward movement. We're either into the showers or we're into warm and sunny.
Right.
Could be 65, could be 78.
Yeah.
That was the GFS. If you look at the same time for the Euro, it's got the the ridging a little bit stronger. Are the heights higher? Yeah, the heights are about 8 decameters higher. So that would imply, okay, better chance for a warm up over a Memorial Day weekend. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
But I don't trust. When I see this mix, it's like, it's too close to. I think it's fair to say we're very uncertain about how Memorial Day weekend is going to progress. I would say I am still uncertain as to whether we're heading into a warmer pattern or not starting Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember looking at the Euro ensemble member view and mean, and it was a little bit all over the place. It looked like, generally speaking, we had more warmer, drier days coming up long term.
I think so.
Than wetter.
It looked like that.
It looked like a mix still at this point.
I agree.
Nothing for sure.
So if we just look at the 850 millibar temp, this is temperature 850 millibars, so about 5,000 feet in Celsius, because everything in the weather world is Celsius except on TV, pretty much. +6 is average for this time of the year. So look, I've got the next 2 weekends, so this goes out 2 weeks left to right.
Yeah.
Next 2 weekends, big Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Why are there fewer days? Oh, I didn't go through Monday. So it actually goes out to the right here. Anyway.
Oh, in terms of a highlight?
Yeah. So, but notice it's below average most of the time until about the next weekend.
Yeah.
So still a bit below average. The green is the ensemble average. The blue is the operational. So of course the blue is going to move up and down more, most likely, because averages are good. And when you see the whiskers, the boxes spread apart, that's more variability, which says they're in relatively good agreement until about next weekend.
About Memorial Day weekend.
The one the time we all care about is in here. This seems to be higher than average, but there's a lot of uncertainty going in here. Those whiskers are way out there too.
Yeah.
Will it be -3 at 850 millibars on Sunday of Memorial Day weekend?
+20.
+21. Small detail, right?
Yeah.
Will it be 94 or will it be 58? We don't know.
Yeah.
Boy, really narrowed things down here. I love this one.
This is what I was looking at.
Yeah, this is just I like the quick glance, and I just circled kind of the same area, which is there's Memorial Day weekend across the bottom, and you just see more warm chances,
colors, more warm temperatures. Yeah.
Yes, but there's plenty of cool ones in there too, so we'll see. And then there's the average down below.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to summarize, next week is slightly warmer, maybe not quite as cool, but only average. Next work week is like average at best.
Right.
Memorial Day weekend, the possibility is there for a significant warm up, but I'm definitely not confident saying, wow, models are showing a big ridge.
Right.
Yeah. So that could easily get shoved slightly east, that ridging, if we stay in troughing through Memorial Day weekend. That would not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Euro, the 24-hour precip, I just kind of bracketed this drier time in here. You do see this is next Tuesday, next Thursday through like Monday or so, Memorial Day. So there is kind of quite a gap in there.
Right.
A lot of the members do not have precip during that time. So, I mean, chances are looking up. It's looking like a better chance for dry then versus like this weekend for sure.
Right. Absolutely.
TBD. You know what that means?
Hope. Of course I know what TBD means. Do you know what LOL means?
Laugh out loud.
Wow, good job.
Okay. Just making sure we're in touch with all the younger generation. Okay, so 500 millibars. So we go a little. Does this go farther out in time? No, this is day 6 through 11. I guess this kind of covers that weekend. Okay, so I guess this is a wider view of what we had already seen troughing offshore. This is next Wednesday through the following Memorial Day itself. There we go, GFS. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is only the GFS. This is not the ensemble average, but it kind of looks the same.
Kind of on the edge of that ridge. Yeah.
And then days 11 through 16, still uncertain there. Wouldn't take much for that ridge troughing to be a little more over us. But I have seen times in early summer where it kind of looks like this and models decide, nope, trough is going to be slightly farther offshore and suddenly we're in the hot weather. Yeah.
Or the trough flattens out and it kind of stays a little farther north too.
Sure. Yeah. That could be. I have that week off. Did you notice on the schedule? I think I'm taking off that week, Memorial Day.
Memorial Day?
Yeah. I mean, like Sunday through the next Friday. We got the Starlight Parade at the end of that week. But I might adjust that to the next week if it looks terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I need warm sunshine.
Definitely. We all do.
But I guess I should let everybody know more than 2 days ahead of time. That would be the nice thing to do, not be a jerk.
And I guess all our podcast listeners, too, should also know when your days off are.
Critical stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, was that 4 episodes of 500 millibars? Yes.
Why are you saying episodes? You mean slides?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we had 4 different periods where we had 500 millibar maps within the podcast here. So that was like, my neck is sore. I'm exhausted after all that 500 millibar talk.
Okay, well, why don't you put your feet up and I'll take us through viewer photos.
Actually, I don't even have my shoes on right now.
Oh, gross. Really?
I'm in the room by myself.
Stinking up that whole audio booth room.
That stank.
All right. Viewer photos. Always love picking these out every week. This is Salt Creek Falls from Abigail, which, Mark, I had to ask you, where is Salt Creek Falls? I've never been here.
And where is it?
I don't
Near Willamette Pass.
Okay, great.
I only know, I've never seen this, but I've seen the signs on the highway, Highway 58, as you head from Oak Ridge to Willamette Pass.
Okay, cool. It looks beautiful.
Pretty.
Yeah.
We have it so good here. You go to other places in the country and you're like, eh.
I know.
And then you come back and you see, I mean, people come on long vacations to see this sort of stuff. And for some of us, this is miles away, you know?
Yeah. This was cool. So Ron Brown takes some excellent moon pictures.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, this is a picture of the full flower moon, which is the name of the full moon for May. Beautiful. I like the shot where you can kind of see it behind the trees.
Behind the trees there.
Yeah, and the dramatic clouds. That's really cool.
Kind of looks like a Douglas fir, Oregon State tree.
Yeah.
Gosh, those people are annoying that just like throw out facts all the time.
Is that
they know their trees?
Just so you know. Yeah. No, but you do know a lot about gardening, and that's your thing. So that's
picked up a lot in 5 decades.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a good one. This is a good one.
That?
Yeah. So, okay, for folks that are just listening and not watching, we've got a lot of blue sky. We've got some fluffy cumulus clouds.
Right.
And then in the background, kind of behind the 2 cumulus clouds, you see almost like a vertical, skinny white cloud. And you're like, could that be a funnel cloud or a tail cloud or what's going on? Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So this viewer sent this in and said, this could be maybe a tornado or a funnel cloud. And that's fair because looking at it, I mean, it kind of has that shape. But yeah, what is this, Mark?
It is a contrail overhead, high up in the sky. Just the angle, the way it looks.
Right.
It's high up there. You see there's a contrail kind of to the left too, or unless that's thin high clouds, I can't tell.
Yeah.
You got
So-
two layers of clouds going on there.
Right. And basically, depending on where you're standing, right, if you can imagine a plane either taking off or landing, it's going to create that angle. And it looks like it's just vertical up and down, but really it's going off in space. You just can't tell based on the orientation.
Or is Camilla just covering up the truth?
Or
I don't think
is
so.
it chemicals that
No,
are getting
it's
dumped?
not.
I'm just kidding.
No,
We don't believe that.
You know what?
Of course not.
Camilla, I remember a time, it was about 5 years ago. I think it was pre-pandemic where we had thin high clouds overhead, maybe a few of these puffy clouds. So it was a much grayer look.
Mm-hmm.
But then in that, there was like a squiggly, like if the wind is in the upper atmosphere just right, you could get what's, a perfectly straight contrail because, the planes generally fly straight.
Yeah.
And it was all wiggly. And it kind of had that, where it angled away sort of look.
Yeah.
But, and then people heard like an explosion or something out on the west side of town. And the newsroom was asking, did a plane crash in the Forest Grove? And I think some organizations sent up a search plane. And it was pretty clearly just a funny looking contrail.
Yeah.
So, it happens. Just the way they look.
Weird things can happen to those contrails too. Like, if you happen to get the right kind of wind manipulating it, and it can make it wiggly or,
Yeah, just basically shredding. It'll be shredded. The contrail is really just a cloud. What if you get wind kind of at different angles? Or you're right, if the plane was going up or down, how the pilot will say, okay, we're going to go down 5,000 feet.
Yeah.
The wind could be different, or the moisture could be different. The contrail could appear, disappear, angle, twist apart.
Right.
It's not all a vast conspiracy, just so you know.
No, it's just planes creating water vapor. That's all it is.
And thus life goes. Look at that, 37 minutes.
Nice, pretty good estimate there with your 40.
Pretty good estimate. So I think we covered everything. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel informed. Good. Yeah.
Yep, we're good. Camilla's got an 8 p.m. show. I'm going to get this thing edited out. Hopefully you have the First Alert Weather app. We strongly suggest that. One, it's easy to send us photos and videos like that. It's very simple.
Yes.
The other is we put out push alerts, not only for any little video forecast videos we make, but when we do finish a podcast or, when it's busier weather and I do a blog post, immediately it goes out right there. So you don't have to be on social media either, because some people are like, in fact, I was just talking to a former coworker a few days ago, and he said, I don't even do Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
So, we want you to follow us on Facebook, of course.
Yes.
Please
That's why
follow
we're
us.
on all the platforms. Just follow us everywhere. Yeah.
We're everywhere all at once. And here we are. Okay, so let's wrap it up. That was episode 137. We should be back next week. I think, what is going on next week? It's the week before Memorial Day. I know we're doing a podcast regardless, and we'll get that done. So we will see you just before Memorial Day weekend on the Fox 12 Weather Podcast. We'll see you later.
Please tell us